All right, let me try again with the president of BUSA, Business Unit in South Africa, Sipho Pityana, on the passing of Kimi Makwetu. So in your own words, Sipho Pityana, I had asked you to give us a sense of the magnitude of the loss that we have suffered in the passing of Kimi Makwetu, the Auditor-General.
It's a great tragedy, without a doubt, Thulasizwe. This is somebody who has dedicated himself to be at the service of the people. After all, this is somebody who emerged from very humble beginnings and in his own conduct in life showed a great deal of humility. A son of a street vendor mother who earned a living and ensured that he puts him through education, self-educated and went through University of Cape Town and rose through the ranks. He has been a steadfast, scrupulous, ethical leader in public service and showed himself to want to make sure that, true to his activist youth in the early years, that the public service is held to account to deliver its promise, the promise of the Constitution to the people of this country.
What made him the man of the moment in as far as holding the line institutionally at a time when, we all know that between the period, in fact, during his tenure, the 7-year non-renewable tenure was actually the tenure where a number of institutions were buckling and were under a barrage of attacks and systematic weakening. Yet it seems that he was the man for the moment in as far as safeguarding that particular institution that he led.
Absolutely. And very few people know this, that there was a lot of pressure on him and there was a lot of pressure on his team. For the first time in our democracy, it was during his tenure that auditors in that office, including himself, had to be provided with security support in order to protect their lives because of the unearthing of corrupt conduct. Remember that the 5 years of his tenure was during the very tough and difficult Zuma years. And he delivered and placed before Parliament very scathing reports that told a story of systematic corrupting of various levels of government, not only at national level, but at local government level, state-owned entities, and across the board. So government, and indeed Parliament in particular, because he was reporting all of this to Parliament, Parliament's failure to hold executive to account is not because they didn't know. Here is a son who was true to his duty and responsibility and to the Constitution of this country, who put information at the disposal of those who had the power and authority to do something and make a difference, and they failed to do so.
And part of the legacy that he leaves behind is, the work around taking forward the new enhanced powers of the Auditor General's office. And he had already started on that particular work. And I remember that in terms of his latest report, I think they had sort of done a dry run or sort of, piloted it with about 9 municipalities, and the plan was to roll it out even more in terms of using some of those new powers that he had acquired. Do you believe that that's part of his legacy institutionally in terms of the Auditor General, that basically drawing a line, under a period where, previously the Auditor General's office would be criticized in instances where it needed to have a stronger voice but didn't?
Well, it had a very strong voice, which was ignored by those that had the power to make the difference. And the shift this is a very important shift in the empowerment of the Auditor General's office to actually follow through on its findings and have the power to hold public representatives into account, which was authority that previously resided only with the public protector. This is a very important shift, and I trust that his successor will take it forward. I have no doubt that she will. Yeah. And it also speaks to Kimi's legacy, that she ensured that as his term comes to an end, a competent African woman is well positioned to succeed him. And I think that it speaks to the kind of person that he is, his commitment to diversity commitments of the country, and making sure that we have appropriate leadership that will sustain some of the efforts that he was making there.
Yeah, and aptly, we're showing a video at the moment as you and I are talking. I see a video of him dancing, and I was about to ask you this question, that obviously, like everyone else, he was multifaceted. He wasn't just all about the numbers and the auditing profession and watching how people spend our monies, but you, how did you know him as a person? What are your reflections of Kimi Makwetu, the person?
Well, he's somebody that I had tremendous respect for his professionalism. He worked at Liberty, started at Standard Bank in his career, worked at Liberty. He went through to work for Deloitte, where he was a partner before becoming Auditor-General. So he really, he had the thorough skills of the auditing profession and financial services environment. But he's somebody who enjoyed life. I mean, he was comfortable in a room with high-end citizens of the country, as much as you will find him in very wonderful environments of a tavern and or a traditional function and a good party. He enjoyed life and enjoyed it tremendously. He enjoyed cooking. He loved his family, and he gave a lot of his time to his children, who are quite sporty, and one of his sons is very keen on cricket, and he gave a lot of support to him with regard to that. So this is somebody who had a very full life and enjoyed it to its fullest. A great political, principled political activist whose dedication and the way he deployed himself and his skills in that office of Auditor General drew a lot from where he came from as an activist to deliver a promise of a society that honors its commitment to lift the lot of the poor.
All right, Sipho, Pityana, thank you so much for your reflections on the life of Kimi Makwetu, the late Auditor General there. And just from my side, recently I was watching that briefing that he gave when he was releasing the latest set of audit outcomes at municipal level. And he had this nagging cough. And my goodness, I had no idea, like all of us really didn't have any idea that he was a man who had been diagnosed with lung cancer some 2 years ago. The bravery, with which he continued to carry out his tasks. And I remember just noting that cough and saying, I wonder what's going on here. And I thought it's just, a mere cough and there's nothing to it. Yeah, may he rest in peace, Kimi Makwetu. He did his part in as far as ensuring good governance in this country is concerned. It's up to us now to take that legacy forward.